All right, guys. So in I think it was a few videos ago, we were talking about the event object um, in jQuery. Not just jQuery, actually. It's also it's just a plain JavaScript object, I guess. So um, now I wanted to talk about a few things related to that because I don't think we really covered a lot. But we're also going to cover some more things about right-clicking something. So you already know how to click something. You use the on-click method as seen down here. This is the on method can take any number of parameters. So this could be on key down, on key up, on mouse down, on mouse enter, etc., etc. But there are methods for each one. So I mean, you could go like element whatever dot click or mouse enter, capital, mouse up. What am I looking for? On mouse up, that's what it is. So on mouse, and as you can see down here, there's on mouse move, on out, on up, etc. So there's a lot of things there, and we're going to be talking specifically using the on method right here, just because I think that that's just the cleanest way to do it. And that's what I'm trying to show you guys is how to do things in a clean, professional way. So. Also, this makes it really easy to change later on if you just want to, change that parameter or throw another bit of code in there. Not too much easier though, so I guess that's not really a benefit. So what we're going to talk about is how to determine a right click. So let's go ahead and target the document. Now, when you target the document itself, you don't need to use quotations or anything like that. Up here, we actually targeted the document, and as you can see, it's just a regular JavaScript variable or object. So let's go ahead and say document. And now here we're going to say on click. This is going to be the event that we're going to hook into. And then the second parameter is a callback. And we're going to go through callbacks a bit more just to make sure that you guys fully understand them or that I've fully explained them. But for right now, this is all you need to know. We're going to target the document, we're going to run the on method, and the first parameter is going to be the event that we want to hook into, which is click, and then the second is going to be what's going to happen when that event fires. So in this instance, we're just going to console log something. We're going to console log event first off, so I can show you guys. So we're going to right click, or we're going to save that, and then we're going to refresh this and open up the console over here. And now when I click, you can see this is happening, but I'm going to click the right mouse button here, and you can see that it doesn't do anything. It just brings that up. So what we need to do is determine which mouse button was clicked. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to prevent default so that the right context menu should not come up. And now within the event object, there's a variable called which. I'm going to save this, and this which property of the event object, it's going to tell whatever physical hardware was interacted with to begin this event. So for instance, if you set this to key down or key up and then ran everything the exact same, this would tell you what key was pressed down and up. And we're going to talk about more about that later as well, because it returns some very obscure results. But for right now, this should tell us either 1, 2, or 3. So I'm going to save it and refresh. And that's 1. That's what happens when I click the left mouse button. When I click the middle mouse button, nothing happens. And when I click the right mouse button, nothing happens. So we need to change click to mouse down. Save this, refresh, and now we get the desired results. And you can see the middle mouse button, the mouse wheel, when you click it in, that's going to return the number 2. And then the right mouse button, when you click it, it returns 3. So now at this point, we could intervene and we could say if the event which equals 3, we want to do something very specific. Or if it equals 1, we want to do something specific. So instead of console logging this, we're going to be creating an if statement. However, we are going to do this in a different way. So I guess this video is going to talk about a few things. We're going to talk about the switch statement. So a switch is kind of like an if statement, except it's cleaner. So you say switch, and then open up your brackets here, and in here goes what is the subject of this switch. So we're going to say event.which. Now in here we have cases. So this is going to say, okay, well, we need to determine something about this, something about this. Sorry about that, I just sneezed. All right, so now we're going to capture each one, and we're going to say case 1, and put a colon here, and we're going to console log clicked left mouse button. Now after this, in the same indentation, we need to say break. Case 2, I'm going to say console log clicked middle button. And then we're going to also say break. And case 3, we're going to say console log clicked right button. And again, we say break. And the reason we say break is because if this case has been fulfilled, it reads it similar to how it reads an if statement. So this is a cleaner way just because we're using less keywords and less syntax. This would look something like if event.which equals 1, and then curly braces, and down here, else if event.which, and so it gets longer and more convoluted. So what happens here is we go into a switch and we're like, okay, we're going to determine something about this. We open it up. Or rather, if this equals something. So case 1 means it would equal the number 1. And then we do this. And if it doesn't match it, then we're going to keep going, right? And so by breaking, we're telling it to break out of the switch statement once it finds the correct one. So we're going to save this, and now we are going to, I'm going to remove this log down here. We don't need that anymore. I'm going to save it and refresh. Now I'm going to click the left button, and it says that we clicked the left button. I'm going to click the middle button, and it says the middle button, and then I'm going to click the right button. So this is how to determine which mouse button is pressed. And I also have 2 other mouse buttons. I don't know what just happened. I think that might work as back and forward. Oh, okay. So I have 2 little mouse buttons on either side, or 1 on either side of my mouse, and I guess that would be 4 and 5. So I'm going to prevent default, which it has right there. And then stop propagation, actually. Maybe that's what I need to do. Stop propagation. Save it, refresh, and I'm going to press this. I can't remember exactly what would prevent that from happening. I can't remember. Anyway, this is how we determine which mouse buttons are clicked using the event. Now, there's 2 other event properties that we're going to be discussing, but we're going to be doing that in the next video. And now we're going to determine where the mouse is on the screen, where the cursor is, and then we're going to be able to do something at that location.